Imagine this, a cockroach crawling across your kitchen floor, and suddenly, its head is gone. Most animals would drop dead instantly, but the roach? It keeps moving, keeps twitching, sometimes for days. Creepy, absolutely. But here's the mystery. How can a cockroach live without its head? Stick around, because by the end, you lines not only know the science, but also one bizarre hidden detail about headless roaches that lines change the way you look at them forever. Now think about it, we humans chop off the head and that's it, lights out. But roaches, they somehow keep going. Why? Is it some kind of alien biology or just an incredible survival trick? The first thing to understand is what happens immediately after the head is gone. When you and I breathe, we use lungs connected directly to our brain for control. If our head goes, the system collapses, but cockroaches don't breathe like us. They have little holes called spiracles along their body that push oxygen directly to their tissues. No head needed. It's like having dozens of tiny emergency air vents keeping the lights on. And here's where it gets wild. Their nervous system isn't centralized like ours. We rely on one big boss, the brain, to run the show. Cockroaches, they have a distributed network. Little ganglia, or mini brains, spread throughout their body. Cut the head off and the rest of the gang still takes orders. Imagine a company where even if the CEO disappears, all the branch managers keep the business running. That's a cockroach without its head, but don't get too comfortable. Because this survival trick comes with eerie side effects. Now picture this, a headless roach doesn't just twitch once and die. It can keep walking around exploring, even reacting to touch, tap its side, and it might scuttle away. Almost like a zombie bug. Right, here's the suspense. Without a head, what else can it still do? Here's where the ripple effects come in. Think about feeding. Without a mouth, a roach can't eat. So yes, headless cockroaches can live. But only for a while. Scientists estimate up to a week. Why? Because they eventually starve or dry out. Roaches lose water through those little breathing holes, and without a head to sip fluids, dehydration takes over. But for that week, they're very much alive. Imagine a creature walking around your house technically dead. But not really, that's enough to give anyone shivers. Now, let's add a playful thought. If a headless roach scurries past your feet, do you stomp it or just run? Honestly, I'd run. Here as a fun bit, scientists at the University of Massachusetts once studied insect nervous systems to understand resilience. Their conclusion? Decentralized wiring makes bugs like roaches harder to kill. NASA has even joked about cockroaches being the ultimate survivalists. You know the saying, if there's a nuclear war, the cockroaches will inherit the earth. The truth? It's not entirely a myth, but let's push the scenario further. What if headless cockroaches weren't limited to a week? Imagine if they evolved to survive indefinitely without heads. Whole colonies of moving bodies, no faces, just endless crawling. Creepy sci-fi nightmare, right? But here's where we bust a common myth. No, cockroaches aren't immortal. They can't live forever without heads. Food and water are non-negotiable. So, while the thought is scary, reality is a little less dramatic. They're survivors, not supernatural. Still, the extreme case is fascinating. Without a head, roaches lose their ability to mate. They can't eat, drink, or reproduce, but their bodies can still respond to the environment. Lights flick on, they scatter, predator nearby, they twitch and run. It's like the body is on autopilot, carrying out pre-programmed instincts. Almost like a computer running even after the screen is smashed. And now, it's time for that hidden fact I teased earlier. Did you know that a severed cockroach head can live on its own for hours? Yep, scientists observed that if you keep the head in a controlled environment, it can still move its antennae and react to touch. Body alive without the head, and head alive without the body. To separate half creatures for a short time, creepy doesn't even begin to cover it. So let me ask you this, if you saw a cockroach head still twitching on the floor, would you step closer out of curiosity? Or run screaming, drop your answer in the comments, because I know you've got a reaction to that one. Let's lock in the takeaways. First, cockroaches breathe through their bodies, not their heads. That's survival trick number 1. Second, their nervous system is spread out, so the body keeps going even without a brain. And third, while they can't live forever headless, they can survive for days, long enough to earn their reputation as Earth's toughest survivors. That's the kind of strange science we dive into here. So if you enjoyed peeling back the mystery of the headless cockroach, subscribe and stick with us. Because next time, we re-asking an even crazier what happens if mosquitoes suddenly vanished from the planet? Would life get better or would nature collapse? So I'll leave you with this: cockroaches without heads can survive a week. But if every mosquito disappeared tomorrow, how long would humanity last?